Oh, we're getting to the end. Thank you. I've taken up so much of your time. So I want to speak to a little bit about your personal goals, plans, needs, wants, right? And I always do this is because I've come to the realization that nurses are nurses and you're a nursing professor and you do all of this healthcare and giving back to the community. But I always want to remind nurses out there that nurses are human beings as well. And we're human beings first, right? So first of all, I do want to know, what are your big plans? Do you plan on being a nursing professor forever? Do you want to get out of nursing, teaching? Do you want to go back to the bedside? Are you still a bedside nurse? What is your 5-year, 10-year? Where do you see yourself down the line?
So I still do work at the bedside. I substitute as a school nurse whenever I can, which is unfortunately not a lot these days with all the responsibilities here. And I also do pediatric complex home care. So I do still practice clinically. I think it's important to inform my teaching with relevant stories and, just staying current with my RN practices. And then also my research letting me know, what the needs are of my population, the kids with complex needs in their families. As far as 5 or 10-year plan, that's a really hard question to answer because I feel like if you asked me 5 years ago, I don't know if I would have still said I'm a full-time professor. So I think that at this time I've achieved
a lot.
I hate to say, no, I was going to say work-life balance. So the thing about work-life balance is there's only one life of which work is a part of. And I'm in a place right now where I'm happy with the balance of my responsibilities here, with getting to do fun things like hang out with my friends, dogs, wedding planning, all of that stuff. And, my clinical work. So I'm at a place where I do feel that there's, I guess, synergy between all my activities. So if I can just be doing that in 5 to 10 years, I'd be really happy.
Yeah, no, see, that's the perfect answer. Ladies, that's the perfect answer. She knows where this is going. Dr. Quinn, I'm telling you, you're good at this. All right, so that's transitioning into nurses are human beings first. I want to know, what is your non-nursing, fun? What is a good day for Dr. Quinn when you are not a nurse? When you don't have nurse associated with the title of what you're doing that day?
You already know that it's taking a trip to Gainesville.
Yes.
As in the gym.
There you go.
And then something else that I love is consignment shopping.
Wait.
So consignment, it's like thrifting. So buying used clothes. So for example, right now, I'm in 100% used clothes, either someone else's that I bought at a store. And I started consignment shopping because it was less expensive. I needed all these business casual clothes to be a school nurse, and I didn't have a ton of money to go be buying
scrubs
right
and scrubs.
Store.
Yeah.
So scrubs, they're fairly cheap, but business casual I needed. So there was some consignment stores in my hometown that I would go to. But as I've learned more about it, I've gotten more passionate about it. So for example, to make a new t-shirt, it takes 700 gallons of water to make one t-shirt. And usually this is happening in countries that have very little environmental regulation and rely on the work of women who don't have the same opportunities. So the more we can reduce, reuse, and recycle our clothing, we save the environment, as well as women workers who are, being really put through it in these countries that don't have regulation. Fashion is also the second leading polluting industry right behind oil. So when you think about all we hear about oil and coal and everything, fashion's right behind it. So we need to be, reusing, not doing these fast fashion. I love those shirts that are Taco Tuesday or this nurse loves tacos, but those are contributing to, our environment crumbling. So a good day is, hitting the gym, doing some consignment shopping, hanging out with the dog, maybe, cooking or baking.
I'm telling you, she's a nurse at heart. Wait, that's fantastic. So I love that you mentioned the environment thing, because I know too many people that are insanely hypocritical. Oh, I'm gonna buy a Tesla, I'm gonna drive my my Prius, but I'm gonna go shopping and buy the brand newest thing every single day because I love shopping, right? And it's I don't know if there's been enough public voice on that issue as how much fashion is adding to the environment crumbling, but I love that you mentioned that, and I think that's super cool. Okay, so that's great. I call you an everyday hero. You are a nurse professor. You do research. What is your advice to any nurse, any nursing student, any nurse, staff nurse currently that wants to become a nurse professor, that wants to get into research?
A nursing professor?
That
or
wants to become into a
research?
nurse professor or do research.
So I would say just reach out to someone that's doing it. I love getting emails from students or nurses at our local hospitals that email and say hey, I was Googling and I came across you. Can we do a phone call? Do you need any help on your next study? And I'll happily, take help when someone emails and they have some, interest in pediatrics or pain, or they just want to chat and see what they have to do to go to grad school. So, getting your feet wet by volunteering with someone in your area or just having an informational conversation about what they do and how they got there.
Yeah. Did you think that grad school was easier? Is that the right word you would use?
It was a different kind of work. So, if there wasn't clinical, there wasn't the pressures of the NCLEX at the end. So it was a different kind of work. It was busier, a lot more writing, but it wasn't the same as undergrad.
Did you like it?
I did. I enjoyed it. It could be isolating at times because, you don't have your clinical cohort and everyone's kind of in a different stage. I was in my 20s when I went to grad school, and most of my colleagues in nursing were in their mid 40s and kind of at the end of their career. So we were at different places for sure. But I did enjoy it. I like being in school. I like learning, feeling like, I'm getting new skills so I can help that population that I study.
I feel like you're at the tippy top of like education. Like, do you think
Thanks.
of course, but like, do you think you'll be going back to school for anything else?
I'm enrolled in school right now.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm enrolled.
Oh,
so one great benefit of being a faculty member at a college is you can get free or reduced tuition. So when I started here, I started chipping away at some electives for another master's. So now I'm in our nurse practitioner program here.
Okay. And last thing before I let you go.
Okay.
I do nursing news.
Mm-hmm.
So I talk a lot about politics.
Okay.
And I know you're a nurse and you're a nurse professor and you have a lot that matters. Like, your word goes a long way. Are you allowed to speak to the current political climate, or is that something you'd rather not talk about?
I would like to speak about the political climate. However, working at a public institution, I'm not sure that I can say anything while we're here or while I've represented myself as someone who is with a public institution.
Makes sense.
But I think that being involved is important. If
Yes.
everyone, the right to vote is something we shouldn't take lightly, and everyone should get out there and participate in our political process.
Can I talk to you about Medicare for All?
Okay.
Yes. All right. So I am a huge proponent for Medicare for All. Just as a nurse, I see every single day patients come in telling me things like, I'm not going to take this medication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go buy this. This is just not going to happen. I'll see you in a couple of weeks because I'm not doing it.
With still uncontrolled diabetes.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, they literally look you in the eye and say, look, I'm not going to take my insulin. I'm going to go buy food, right? I'm going to pay for my rent. I'm going to pay for my school.
And we can't be mad about that.
Exactly.
Because,
Medicare for All, do you think it's a good thing? Do you think we need that? Or do you think there's something else?
I think it is a good thing. I think that we need to get the model right, get people on board as to why healthcare is a right, first of all. I don't think everyone buys into that just because you have access to healthcare doesn't mean that everyone does or everyone has the same opportunities in this country to get their healthcare. I think that enough people don't understand what they do and don't have in their care and what they can access and what they, could be getting, could be doing versus what other people don't have. So I think we need to do a lot of education, and that would help support the switch.
I love it. You guys, this is Dr. Quinn. I mean, I took so much of your time. Thank you so very much.
No, I thank you for having me and for making me an everyday hero.
That's it. You see, that's it. Before I go, I know, so you're, I think it's Nurse Brenna Q is the
yes, at Nurse Brenna Q.
At Nurse Brenna Q. I like the Q. Good for you. Anywhere else do you want to shout out? You want to plug? Is there anywhere else you want people to find you, or is Instagram good?
I do use Twitter, the same name. Not on there as much, but you're welcome to come chat with me there.
Beautiful. The link's gonna be in the description box below for both the Instagram and the Twitter, but the Instagram will be on the screen the entire time. For all of those watching, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and then for those listening on the podcast, you guys are fantastical. Please subscribe and give me them 5 stars.
Smash that subscribe button.
That's it. That's Dr. Quinn for you. She said it, not me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.